This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Masters of the Universe x ThunderCats crossover figure of He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. He-Man here comes packed up in his Thundarian form, which kind of looks, I don't know, that shit looks kind of goofy to me offhand. On the back of the box, we see the most powerful man on Third Eternia finds kindred spirits among the heroic ThunderCat. He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Put on the battle helmet. As part of this wave, we have He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe, Skell-Ra, the heroic Thundarian scientist, and Panthro, the heroic Thundarian battle master. Was Skell-Ra really a scientist? I don't really remember him being very scientific, but I could be wrong. But let's go ahead and open this sucker up, shall we? I think this is the cartoon collection harness that he comes with here. We'll try it on him later, but man, look how warped that is. This is going to have to be thrown in hot water if you want to even try to get it to look good, I think. He comes with the combination Power Sword and Sword of Omens. There we got the closed eye, and we have the open eye. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this design, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I think it looks really goofy in my opinion. I mean, you can definitely see where they merged the two together and tried to keep the semblance of the two. Whoopsie. But I just don't think it looks very good. Here's that goofy looking... Jesus. Here's that goofy looking shield of his with its little, like... I don't know, that looks like a pair of mandibles from it. This reminds me of an ant head for some reason, you know? Of course, that can just be clipped. Well, we gotta take the hand, put it in the handle, spin that around, and we clip it into place. Here's that helmet they were talking about. I guess it just goes up like that, and his hair becomes the eyes. Also, I'd like to point out, if you can see here, it looks like the teeth are right in front of his eyes, so they are throwing off his line of sight. On the plus side, he's got a warped thing on his back where he can put the sword. Like so. I do think they should have given us a power sword also to go with it. Here we have the instructions to turn him into He-Man or Thundarian He-Man. We'll do that a little later. Although it is interesting because it does look like this comes off, so I wonder what's underneath there. So we get in our second book for the ThunderCats He-Man crossover called The Power Sword of Omens. Ugh. After combing the desert of the sands of time, the ThunderCats and Masters of the Universe finally find what they've been looking for. From Third Earth to Third Eternia, it's the Black Pyramid and Tigra is inside. Sniff, sniff. This reeks of Skeletor. Tigra! Panther, He-Man, over here! Woo, woo, whoosh. The inner maze is dizzying, but soon He-Man, Panther, and Cheetara find their friend. Let's get him out of here. He's alive, but just barely. Meanwhile, on the other side of the pyramid, Lion-O and BattleCat-Man find their foe. We found the tomb, Skeletor. Must be within. Skeletor is a demon stabbed true as soon as I rip the casket open. 1, 2, arg! 3. Wait. Tigra, but if you're here, Lion-O, it's a trap. Skell-Ra, Cheetara, come in. Cheetara, listen to me. That's not Tigra. We have Tigra down here. The power sword. He. Fools, you fell into my trap. Now the power sword is mine, and soon the universe will be in control of Skell-Ra the Ever Living. Whatever you call yourself, Skeletor, you are still no match for He-Man. We'll see about that. Impossible. By the ancient evil of Grayskull, I will smite you from existence, He-Man. Skell-Ra will not be trifled with. Catch, Lion-O. The power sword! Give it back! Goodbye, Skell-Ra, until the ancient spirits of evil Lion-O says hello. Good luck, He-Man. To you as well, Lion-O, Lord of the ThunderCats. As the eye of Thundara fills the Eternian sky, the universe can rest easy knowing that on this day, evil has finally been vanquished. Dude, this was a shitty little comic. So, again, as part of this wave, we have He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe, Tigra, the heroic Thundarian scientist, and Panther, the heroic Thundarian battlemaster. This really was a terrible mini-comic. Like, oh my god, they needed to, like... They need more story pages is what they need. Like, the Turtles of Grayskull, which also ended up telling some pretty awful stories at the end, they had 12 pages in theirs at least. And I'm sorry, I think more people wanted the Masters of the Universe ThunderCats crossover than they wanted a Turtles crossover with Masters of the Universe. I am super disappointed in the mini-comic. Alright, so let's check out our He-Man here. Again, he's got the battle mask on. It looks stupid. It just looks 100% stupid. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but it does. So let's get rid of that. He definitely has a unique head sculpt. Long hair, pulled back, ponytail-ish thing in the back. I do like the head sculpt. It definitely... I think if you just showed me this figure, though, I probably not have said He-Man. You know what I mean? The shield, stupid. His articulation, oh, Sword of Omens. Oh, crap. Well, I'll just rip that part off there. We'll get rid of that, too, right now. Let's go ahead and check out his articulation. The head moves up and down a little bit and can spin around. The hair definitely interferes with the articulation of the head. We can pretty much guess what's going to happen when we try to spin the arm up. Shoulder pauldron gets in the way and bends a bit. And then it pushes out. We do have a single joint in the... There is a joint here. You can see the joint. Ah, there we go. We don't even get a full 90 out of that, to be honest. Hand does spin. The right hand has the up and down articulation, probably so that he can raise his magic sword aloft. The other hand has the in and out articulation. We do have a spin at the waist. He can kick forward about that far. And he can kick back about that far. Single joint in the knee. Spin at the boot. Hinge at the ankle. And a spin at the ankle as well. Now let's strip him naked. Oh man, they just did the diaper. I thought for sure they would have like a regular loincloth under there. What's weird to me is the bracers themselves are also separate parts, and they're huge. These look like they were made for bigger forearms than He-Man has. Apparently we have to take that off. But yeah, look at that. That's just huge. And it's semi-transparent, too. Put that back in place. I think I'm going to be very unimpressed with this. I'm not going to lie. Well, at least putting the harness on him stretches it out to the proper proportions. But now we do have to put the giant loincloth back in place because he doesn't have a loincloth underneath. I do not see myself picking up a second one of this figure to display in this manner, unless he goes on way cheap of a sale, because the bracers and the loincloth are just absolutely too large on him. The head sculpt, though, I mean, I still like it. I think it looks pretty good. It's definitely a unique head sculpt. So my overall with this He-Man is going to be, I'm not particularly impressed. I do like the head sculpt on him. I don't know why they came up with that design for the shield. And I think it was supposed to represent, like, you know, fangs. But to me, it looks more like, honestly, it just makes me think of an ant's head. That's what it reminds me of, is an ant's head. The Power Sword of Omens combo design, not particularly good. It's not terrible, like they could have done worse, but I just don't think it looks good either. The helmet is just stupid, especially since the fangs like are in front of his eyes. That was a bad design there. They probably made it that small though to save money, because a lot of this line is basically new tooling on everything, right? They had to come up with new male bodies, new female bodies. Hopefully they do more than just Chitara. The mini comic was far from impressive. Like, that was so disappointing. That was like late stage Ninja Turtles mini comic right there. I was a little leery of this figure originally anyway, so, well, it's actually impressive that I'm as disappointed as I am with this one. Like, he is below my expectations so bad, it's not even funny. I do like the head sculpt, though. I think the head sculpt looks great. But the rest of it, at the very least, they should have given us a smaller loincloth or had a loincloth underneath his belt. But again, new tooling, new bodies. They probably didn't want to make a Masters of the Universe loincloth torso or lower torso for it, you know? And of course, we've already seen that the third wave of figures is a full set of repaints, with Panther Man, I'm sure, will be the main one that'll be bought by everybody, because the recolorings that they're doing don't look particularly good either from what I've seen. And I already wasn't that impressed with Panther to start with, to be honest. Not that I've reviewed that one yet, but that's coming up soon too. But why don't you guys tell me what you think of this He-Man figure in the comments below? I am definitely curious if you're as disappointed as I am. And if you enjoyed my bitching about this figure, please feel free to smash that like button. And of course, if you want to see more of my nonsense in the future, so you can subscribe. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.